Hi guys, welcome to this video. This video is about me moving house. Obviously, you can probably see from the beginning. I'll put them in either in the beginning of the video or the end, where I've moved to and things like that, and I'll do a little voiceover so you can see. I've actually moved from Kidlington to Steeple Aston, so a big change. Starting off with the positives, really. I wanted a fresh start. I think the idea for me of moving out of somewhere else and into somewhere new is kind of a new chapter for me. I wanted to I realized things weren't really changing and I wanted them to change. And so this is a huge kind of step for me as well. Relationships and kind of long-term relationships are on my mind, and children and things like that. And I think where I was and what I was doing in terms of just my daily routine, I wasn't out there. I wasn't getting kind of sociable. I was kind of starting to get into a rut. So it's very, very scary to begin with, thinking of moving here, because it is, as you can see from the pictures, it's not as central or hasn't got that much around in terms of Kidlington, but it does have a bus service. It has things like that. There's a train station, things like that. So it is possible to do once you get over the initial fear of living in the countryside. So no, it is really, really, I am kind of liking it. It's smaller, but it's manageable, I think, for me. So the next thing, obviously, just to talk about was the reasons behind moving. Obviously financial was a big reason. The other reason was the original reason I got the house was for the dogs, Isabel and Millie, and I can link that below. We moved over from Ireland in 2017. I'd had them for about 6 months. They were a birthday present because Ruffles had obviously passed in 2015. So it was very, very difficult giving them away. And I will link below everything there. It was very difficult because I had, obviously, the divorce had gone through. I didn't have kind of a lot of positive things going on in my life, and they were 2 years ago, they were a birthday gift. So Isabel was the pup and Millie was her mum, 3 and 1 at the time. So yes, I kind of rescued them. They were a rescue, and they had behaviour issues. I think I had come online a couple of times and said that. They did have behaviour issues, and so we were working towards that. And then when I came to where we moved from was a big 3-story house in the middle, of Clare, which was kind of country life, so they could walk around. They had kind of lots of space, I guess. And online, obviously, I had no choice. I couldn't go view houses when I decided I had to go back to Oxford, because just, jobs in Clare, things like that for childcare, because my qualifications were the UK based, I wasn't getting what I would get in Ireland, what I would get here in terms of salary. So I made the decision to get them passports, went through the whole thing, a whole rigmarole of vets, everything like that. And they got their passports and we went on the ferry and off we went. And I had seen Willesden Way, that's just the estate, in Kidlington online, and it looked really big. It looked a lot bigger than it actually was when we got there. The garden in particular was particularly small from what they were used to. And I said, okay, let's think positive, let's make this work. And a couple of months down the line, it was clear it wasn't working. I only worked at that point 3.5. I did YouTube in the morning, and then I would work 3.5 hours, 4 hours, in the day, working in the after school, and I had freelance jobs in between. So a lot of the time I wasn't in the house. And so I would walk them twice a day before I left anywhere, kind of played with them, made sure they had their food, everything like that. And it still just wasn't enough. They were so stressed, so stressed when I wasn't there. So I originally contacted the Oxford Sanctuary, who are a brilliant, brilliant organisation. They really need as much support as they can get, because they do everything themselves. And so initially they actually just offered training support. So I said, look, I've got these 2 dogs. We've moved over from Ireland. They're really stressing. They're not really settling in, and I'm really trying. So originally they were just giving advice for training. Okay, try this, try that. We tried everything and it wasn't working. And I just had put them to bed one night, and they'd finally gotten to sleep. I think it was Halloween, and I'd held them because they were petrified of the, all of the things going off at night, the firecrackers and everything like that. And they finally went to sleep. And I just sat up in bed and I said, they can't, they're not coping. They are not coping. Whatever about me, whatever about what I'm going through. I had Ruffles for 11 years, and she was the different type of dog. I had her from 3 months old. She kind of was extremely used to my situation. She kind of blended into me rather than these dogs trying to struggle at such an older age to blend in. So I did contact the Oxford Sanctuary, and I decided, heartbreakingly decided to give them to the Oxford Sanctuary, and I will link all those below. I don't want to kind of go on too much, guys. I didn't mean to make this about dogs, but the whole point I guess I'm making is that the point of this particular house was the fact that they could, we could stay there. And initially it did look, as I said before, a lot bigger, and when I got there, seriously, was not what I expected at all. So anyway, moving on from that, they were then adopted out to the Oxford Sanctuary, and I stayed in contact until I knew the day they were being adopted. I still stayed in contact. I still made sure they weren't stressed, because I just couldn't have them just in some dog pound. The Oxford Sanctuary is very different. It's on a huge amount of land, so they've got a lot of land, very similar to what they were used to in Ireland. So I knew they were the people to go to, and they were so helpful. So yes, the dogs got I think a couple from Cornwall adopted them, so they're absolutely having the time of their lives, which is great. So then kind of things that were happening then after that is that work was going great, everything like that, but I was finding, obviously, outside of that, I was struggling to obviously let go of certain things in a relationship from a while back, and it wasn't doing me anything positive, because I was staying in a rush, I was staying in the same place, I was trying my best to kind of get out there and things like that, and it wasn't really working. And so I did kind of look, and then I held back, looked at houses, went to viewings, held back, and then I thought, what about just completely different area, different town, and so this is where Steeple Aston comes in. So I'm hoping it's a new chapter. I have gone through a lot, I think, last year and this year. Being away from mum is difficult, I'm not going to lie. It's very difficult, not knowing kind of day to day what's going on. So we FaceTime every day. Mum and me would be a lot closer than I would be with my dad. My dad has a completely different life in Boston, and he has my half-brother Daniel over there too. So they are very much kind of a team as me and mum would be. And I think the difficulty with me and mum is that we are in different countries, and I think the heartbreaking thing for that is that I don't get paid the salary. So that's really the only thing keeping me from being there and seeing a full-time life there, is that the salary here is because my qualifications, Montessori, special needs, autism, are all UK based, they are not seen the same as in Ireland, basically. So yeah, so that's why this is kind of the turnaround. Hoping mum, and we're already planning that she can come over, so she'll stay a bit longer here. I think she'll like it a lot more here. I think she'll find Castlebridge in Wexford is in the countryside, so I think she'll actually really prefer it. She really will. So lots of kind of other things to look forward to as well. The second book is called New Beginnings. It's a sequel to An Ocean of Secrets, and I think here I'll have a lot more time for relaxation and writing, where it's kind of a different atmosphere. It's not kind of what I'm used to. So yes, this is the new place. I will obviously be keeping up with all of the requests. I've seen them come through. Thank you as well for the new subscribers and the old ones too, but thank you for the new ones. I really appreciate it. And 3 of the requests have come through that I am dealing with at the moment. I am kind of recording when I can. Thank you for looking at this video, guys, and I will see you in the next one.